but it was sold. This, we made millions off this. More money than the cocaine business. So when that was happening, at the same time, parallel, I decided to buy a Merlin, a bigger plane.
Right. This is the one
to
with
do
Mexico.
my own route.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was working with the Lucchese's, the Hollywood outfit, doing that Monteria, Jamaica, Miami run. So then I was already importing product. I was already importing. I was also distributing, but now I was also importing.
All right, just to keep the term straight, though, because when you say distributing, I know my head goes to, and a lot of people out there's head goes to, you're handling the guys on the street who are actually giving the drugs out to people. But that's not what you did. You're distributing a full load of product to an outfit that's going to then handle that.
Yes, it's a wholesale.
Exactly. All right, let's use that term.
Taking 300-400 kilos in Miami and giving 100 to this guy, 100 to this guy, 100 to this guy, and 100 to this guy.
And how did you initially get hooked up with the Lucchese's? Did you call them up in the phone book and say, hey?
Through some Cuban friends of mine that we were bringing in shit through the Bahamas. They worked with him, through another friend, Joey Ippolito, who's no longer with us. If you look him up, Joey Ippolito, that's another. I meet Joey. And Joey says, wait, you got the hookup in Colombia. I got the guys, the mob guys who have a cowboy hick, Florida pilot who has a small plane, but he can handle 300 to 350 kilos.
Not that one, a different one.
And so I talked to these guys, and sure enough, I start giving them product. They send the plane down, we load it. And it comes into Miami. Then I said, I want to start doing this because the doc tells me, man, you're wasting your time. We could be hitting the Mexican border big time because I got the hookup with Rafa, and Rafa's introduced me to some of his friends that are, moving shit right across the border in Tijuana. So I bought the Merlin, and I decided to use the Merlin strictly for Mexico. So the Merlin was hitting Mexico, going to La Peñita. And at the same time, I was bringing coke in through Miami. So then that expanded. Sure. I was hitting smuggling through Miami, smuggling through Mexico. Then I bought another plane, and then I started to airdrop off the Bahamas with a Conquest.
With a Conquest?
That's another plane that was a better plane for airdropping, better than the Merlin.
How much was a plane like that setting you back then?
The Merlin cost me... That Merlin didn't cost me a lot. It cost me $600,000. I bought it in Burbank, California. I kept it in Burbank, California, and I used it for Mexico. The Conquest cost me, the first Conquest cost me $800, and that one I kept in Venezuela. And I had a Piper Navajo, which that I kept in Miami Airport. But then this is where I start moving merchandise that I actually smuggle. I'm actually taking delivery of merchandise in Colombia and moving it through Mexico, moving it through Bahamas, and coming into the United States.
All right, couple things here. Number one, when you're buying all these planes, are they bought under your name?
No.
What are they bought under?
I don't know. I sent my partner Renee to go get it, and they put it under some fake company that was working out of Miami Airport in Miami.
Okay. So I guess you could kind of do that back then.
And then we registered, the Merlin was registered to an offshore corporation in Panama.
Huh.
And the Conquest was registered to also, I believe, a Panamanian corporation, but it had Yankee Victor. It had Venezuelan call letters.
Didn't you end up in the Panama Papers or something?
Yeah.
You were mentioning
Panama
that, so maybe that
papers,
has something to do with it.
Paradise Papers.
Nice. All the papers.
Yeah.
So,
the morning paper, afternoon paper.
Second question. As you're building this empire, though, you mentioned earlier the fact that you had all these offices around the world eventually and stuff. Like, you had a shell company, I assume, right? Some sort. You had set up some sort of like fake business that said, "Well, we really do this" or something.
to have an office, since I had a macadamia farm in Costa Rica and Colombia, I set up Asociación Nacional de Macadamia de Colombia. Bullshit. Then I had some coffee business in Mexico. I had some latex business in Mexico.
When did you get these? Like
I was
1980?
Well, remember that in 1983, after my dad died, I bought 22,000 acres of sugar land. I mean, 10,000 were bought, 12,000 were leased, because I tried to get back into the sugar business. But
You stayed with the booger sugar, though.
imagine this shit. This is how my head works. I mean, sugar in the U.S. is subsidized at 28 cents. It is sold in the U.S. at 28 cents a pound. Mm-hmm. Okay, because the U.S. farmers produce it, and they get subsidized. So sugar, refined sugar, gets sold at 28 cents a pound. So I come up with this great idea, which other people had it too, but I came up with it, that I would buy sugar at 4 cents a pound in Dominican Republic, bring it into the United States to refine at Gottschalk Henderson in Louisiana, pay 5 cents refining cost. So I'd end up having sugar for 9 cents a pound in the U.S. Mm-hmm. That sugar needs to be re-exported. It just came here to get refined, and it has to be re-exported. With my partner up in New York, who were always in the sugar business, Lobo Kane, we drew up false papers, and that sugar never was re-exported. It was sold to New York bakeries at 21 cents a pound. Lower than the 28, but it was sold. This, we made millions off this. More money than the cocaine business.
And you didn't get out of the coke business.
Problem is, we got caught.
Ah.
And it's in the book. It's called Operation Bittersweet. Nice. Operation Bittersweet. The government came down on us and some other people in Miami, Green Brothers.
What year?
This is right after my dad died, because, God, if you would have been alive, you would have kicked my ass.
So this is like 83, 84. So this is the first time you get hot.
Yeah. I had just bought the sugar land. Then this Operation Bittersweet kicks in. At the same time, I had a sugar packing operation in Aruba, because we had the licensing of the Hershey name to sell sugar in the Caribbean. The last sugar mill that Julio Lobo bought in Cuba in 1959 was the Hershey mill. And along with the Hershey mill came the name Hershey's as applicable to sugar. So we brought that back to light, and I opened up a sugar packing operation in Aruba. I used to bring in the sugar from Colombia, repack it in Hershey bags, and send it to the Caribbean. Then I realized that, hey, isn't Puerto Rico the Caribbean? Yes, it is. Well, but Puerto Rico is also the U.S. So we did a couple of those runs, but then, and that was successful. You know what I mean? But Operation Bittersweet hits. I get subpoenaed. Thank God, when the U.S. government subpoenaed my partner in New York, he received his subpoena and he died of a massive heart attack. So I was able to go to that subpoena and blame it all on him and walk out. Because he would have lived, he would have blamed it on me, because I was the guy that put up the initial $3-4 million to get this whole thing going, and I would have been indicted.
I love that. He's like, thank God he died. That was incredible.
Thank God he croaked. He dropped dead right on Staten Island, right across the street.
So they didn't come after you after that?
Oh, I had to go to the subpoena.
Yeah, but once that was done, you're like, it was all him? Sorry.
It was all him.
Did they make you pay a big fine or something?
Nope. They made him pay his estate and his company a big fine. The U.S. government came down, and then I got scared, and I said, no, this shit is getting wild. So listen to this. So I had bought all this acreage of sugar land and leased the rest. And I didn't really know the details, but I bought it.
Where was it again?
Clewiston, Florida.
Right.
And I bought it with a friend of mine that also used to work for the CIA, Amado Hernandez.
You went to Georgetown too. I'm just saying, there's a few things here that are a little. Some stuff that lines up. I don't know.
Jesuits. They were in Portuguese Macau before the Chinese even had a triad.
Listen, Luis, if you're a spook, you can tell me. This is a safe space. It's okay.
Spooks. So we buy the Sugar Land, and suddenly a hurricane hits. And I go, fuck, now we're really fucked. What are we going to do now? So I go to the P.O. box in Key Biscayne. And this, I had, since Operation Bittersweet hit, I had given back, I was already in the process of giving back the land to the guy who I bought it from, Carlos Reynolds.
Okay.
In that process, a hurricane hits. And I said, fuck, we're really fucked on this. So I go to the P.O. box and I see 2 envelopes from the U.S. Treasury Department. I said, this is all I need. A hurricane hits, Operation Bittersweet, and now the IRS is going to nail my ass. I open the envelopes. It's 2 checks totaling over $4 million for crop insurance that I didn't know I had. I took the $4 million and I stashed it in Aruba right away. I said, this is it. So I gave back the Sugar Land, but since when the hurricane hit, it was in my name, I got to keep the $4.8 million from the crop insurance. So that was a nice paycheck,
You still got that bank account?
No. But
I'm not really buying that.
Aruba is a nice place to visit.
Okay.
And so all this, this is 25 years, and so much shit happened. I talked to a couple people to do the book, and a couple of them just couldn't put it together. It's not everybody that can write and put together 25 years of somebody's history. Jesse Fink is very
yeah, he did a great job.
He put together 25 years. Now, believe me, I tried to, I did a lot of writing while I was in jail, putting chronological order to things, but that was it. I'm not an author to be able to put it all together in book form.
Sure.
I needed somebody. Of course, we did it together, and I think he did a great job because it's not easy.
No.
To put together. I wrote down everything because I had a good memory. I think my memory's failing me now. But this is amazing that he put that together, and it is. He researched this, like that whole thing when I called him up and told him, listen, that's bullshit. They never killed Alberto Cecilia Falcone. He had to stop because he researched everything, and he was in doubt. Who's telling me the truth? He called Alberto's sister, and Alberto's sister in Mexico told him, no, my brother, wasn't around in 96. He died. And then later on, he found out that she wasn't telling the truth from the cover.
So they were trying to...
And that's when Brian Denard shows up.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.